Automation has always felt like a natural step for a sandbox like Hytale. Most people look into what they already know, redstone, or maybe something closer to create, but neither of those fully answer the question, what should technical Hytale actually look like? Hynergy was created to explore that question, and we have come with some ideas after giving it a thought. This is the approach of Hynergy to energize and automate Hytale. Hynergy is a mod about powering the world of Orbis, about taking energy from the environment and using it for machines, processes, and systems that feel alive. Hynergy is guided by three core pillars, which we believe should define how tinkering works in Hytale: integration, complexity, and game progression. Everything added must feel like it belongs to the game. This includes textures, modeling, crafting, progression, and balance related to existing items. We are still working on this, and all models are placeholders for now. Electricity is a big aspect of the mod, and we know that it may feel a bit out of place sometimes, especially with some models. We're working on it to make it fit into the game. It should be intuitive, especially for casual players. You shouldn't need to watch dozens of tutorials just to get something working. Systems are meant to be plug and play for simple setups. At the same time, the mechanics must be deep enough that players who choose to tweak their system find a flexible mod with very few limitations. And finally, game progression. It must be integrated with Hytale existing items, systems, and world zones, so progression feels natural and connected to the game. Now, what is our approach? We can distinguish two main aspects of the technical side of a game: automation, machinery and industrial processes on one side, and the energy system that powers them on the other one. For example, Minecraft only has automation through redstone logic, and no generation system are needed to power it because a single redstone block or lever is enough to make everything work. Hytale is centered around Orbis, and its zone and biome is full of energy waiting to be used. We think it is a missed opportunity to focus technical Hytale only on automation and not also consider energy generation. Because of that, we have spent most of our time designing the mechanics and behavior of energy systems to provide a fun way to obtain energy from Orbis, transform it, and use it to power automation. So, what is an energy system? It is a connected setup that extracts energy from the world of Orbis, moves it, transforms it, and uses it through machines. Instead of relying on a single block that provides power, energy systems encourage players to interact more deeply with the world around them. An energy system can be built using different technologies. Currently planned technologies include mechanical, electrical, fluid, thermal, chemical, and potentially magical energy, depending on how magic is implemented in Hytale. Each technology has its own identity and its own progression. Let's see a glimpse of each one. Mechanical systems are all about rotation. Things like motors, windmills, water wheels, or turbines generate rotation, which is then carried through shafts and adjusted with gears. Better materials let you push higher rotation speed and get more out of the system. We know this might feel similar to create, but that's just the nature of a mechanical system. In the end, rotation and gears are the basics. Electrical systems are the more flexible ones. Generators produce electricity, and it can be carried over long distances through cables and easily converted to other technologies. What makes electrical systems interesting is control. You can turn things on and off with levers, split cables using junction boxes, or add logic boards to compare and manage signals. One of the most interesting features we plan to add is the ability to design all of this in a small and compact way inside a PCB. There you can build your own board using logic and math blocks, with up to 16 inputs and output signals. This will make a lot more sense once we explain how energy behavior works. Finally, we have tried to add wireless transmission through magic, but it will be a very late game feature, and we still have to see how magic is implemented in game. Fluid, thermal, and chemical systems are closely related, because all of them deal with energy stored inside things. Chemical systems are tied to the internal energy of items, energy that can be extracted and transformed. A simple example of this is heat. You can take that internal energy and use it to warm up other systems, like fluids. Fluids are where all of this really comes together. You can take something simple like water and just move it around, heat it up, or push it through pipes. Heat water enough and you start getting steam. That steam can then be used to drive machines or power other systems. Over time, fluids don't have to be limited to water. They can include fuels, magical fluids, lava, or anything else that can carry energy in a physical way. Better materials and tiers will also allow to have more energy into the fluid. Now let's get a bit technical and let's talk about the energy behavior. This wasn't trivial, especially with a team coming from a real-world engineering. You can see here all the work we have put in and all the iterations made to reach a good point. Fully replicating reality would be far too complex and tedious for gameplay. Instead, we decided to use a simplified and versatile energy behavior model, shared across all technologies and built around two core concepts. Let's see how it works. In an energy system, we have generation, transmission, and machines that consume energy. Generation represents where energy enters the system. This can be a windmill, a water wheel, an electrical generator, or any other source that provides energy. Here is represented by this circle. Energy is transmitted through connectors like cables, shafts, or pipes. These elements don't create energy. They simply connect the system and allow energy to move through it. Machines consume energy. These are the elements that actually do work in the system, like a drill, press, or any automation element. Here is represented by these triangles. The first rule is simple. Total generation must be greater than the total consumption. If you add more machines, you will be consuming more energy. If you add more generation, you will be injecting more energy into the system. If generation exceeds consumption, the system runs normally. The energy don't have a direction, it is just into the system. Everything connected to it can use it. But if consumption exceeds generation, the system enters a special behavior state, which will be explored in a future video. Everything connected to the same network is evaluated together, generation greater than consumption. That's all there is to it. The second concept is what gives Hynergy its depth, system dynamics. Every energy system has an internal dynamic parameter that is independent on the energy generation. Players can modify this parameter to control how machines behave, making them faster, slower, or follow a pattern. This can be done with special machines, shown here with a square. Increasing dynamic improves performance, but it also increases energy consumption. If we lower the dynamic, the consumption will also be reduced. Pushing a system further requires enough generation to support it. For example, consider a mechanical system. A windmill powers a drill through a shaft, rotating at 5 rotations per second. By adding gears, the speed increases to 10 rotations per second. The drill works faster, but it also consumes more energy. In this case, dynamic variables is rotational speed, and the cogs modify it. Electrical systems work in the same way, but use intensity instead. This is neither voltage nor current, but a simplified variable that adapts real concepts into something intuitive and consistent within Hytale. Because all energy systems follow the same balance rules, and because dynamic can be transformed between technologies, such as rotation, intensity, or pressure, Hynergy naturally encourages interconnected systems. Players may place windmills at higher elevations, water wheels in rivers, and transmit energy over long distances using transmission lines, adjusting system dynamics to reduce losses and improve efficiency. Now, let's talk about one of our pillars, game progression. It is structured around the world itself. Each world zone focuses on a primary energy technology, introducing new tools and concepts as the player advances. In the first zone, the main energy technology is mechanical. You start with a simple setup like a handshaft and water wheels, learning how rotation works, how motion is transmitted, and how basic machines behave when you connect them together. In Zone 2, electrical energy comes more into play. Electricity is more flexible and easier to move around. At first, the player will use simple logic elements like buttons, levers, and wires. Later on, electricity becomes the backbone of control, letting you manage machines, signals, and systems in a much more compact and complex way. Zone 3 focus on fluids. Here, energy starts to move inside substances. You work with pipes, water, pressure, and heat. Fluids can be moved, heated, turned into steam, and used to power machines. This is where things start to feel more interconnected. Finally, Zone 4 is centered around thermal and chemical energy. This is about extracting energy stored inside items and substances, usually in the form of heat. That heat can then be used to warm fluids, power systems, or enable more advanced setups. This is our approach to energy generation through energy systems. But before wrapping up, let's talk about the second big aspect of technical Hytale: automation. In the end, that is the purpose of energy generation. We are here to automate things and make gameplay faster, more efficient, and more fun. Many ideas have been proposed, like NPCs, machinery, and magic. How should items be moved? Do conveyor belts or pipes really fit Hytale in that sense? That's something we still need to discuss. For now, we expect the community to implement machines using our energy system to automate their own mods. That way, Hynergy can become a foundation that others can build on. If you are planning a mod that requires energy to power your ideas, talk to us. In the future, Hynergy is planned to become open source, allowing the community to shape it further and potentially turn it into a core mechanic of Hytale. Please give us your feedback and thoughts on our approach. You can follow the discussion in our Discord server and subscribe for the following videos where we will be explaining more details of the energy behavior. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more energy and automation in Hytale.